Hello, everyone. This is Seewing Yee from the Yee Network, and hopefully you see the whole screen. Thank you for attending this webinar, Aloha by Investment Real Estate for Cash Flow Appreciation and even your own retirement. This is Seewing Yee from the Yee Network, and really appreciate all of you have to take time out of your day to listen to us. So, without further ado, and let's get excited and get motivated and hear what we have to say because a lot of it we can talk about. Even though you may know about Hawaii, you may not know about the opportunities that we're going to talk about. So, what we can talk about is buy Hawaii real estate as an investor for cash flow appreciation and for your own retirement. I call it a trifecta factor. So, invest in Hawaii and buy a piece of paradise. And here are some of the points that we're going to discuss throughout this presentation. Invest and buy a piece of paradise. So you can buy investment property on the island of Oahu. We can talk about why Hawaii real estate has consistently appreciated over the past 40 years. And we can show you the areas of Oahu where there's some tremendous growth, and we will show you how to get in early. It's all about timing, right? When we show you some pre-construction deals, it's important to get in early and take advantage of the phase one, phase two pre-construction. So the 24 to 24 months purchasing window is, I believe, is important. And then we're going to also show you why we feel the rental properties here in Oahu has one of the lowest vacancy rates and the highest rental demands in the entire U.S. real estate market. And we're going to show you about we can talk about the rental market. You have the tremendous ability to even get a renter for 3 years lease at a time, or even longer sometimes. And there are some other situations where you can rent it for month to month, or even weekly or daily for Airbnb as well. And we can share with you what are the who are the developers and who are the builders that are ramping up over the island, and we can show you the area, the specific neighborhood where you can potentially purchase properties. And finally, we can show you whereby you can buy right now for cash flow and potential for long-term appreciation. And some of you, because most of you are located in California, you can take a flight over here on an annual vacation to come to Hawaii, come to Oahu, and enjoy your time, and perhaps to potentially retire here, right? What more can you ask for? All right, so why we can talk about why invest in Hawaii, because it's a world famous international destination. We all know that it's a warm weather all year round and beauty everywhere. So I'm excited to present to you my guest speaker, Mr. Doug and Jan Weber. Before they can speak, the reason why I invited them to co-present this webinar because they personally helped me with my purchase of my vacation condo here in Oahu, in West Oahu, a year ago. So my experience with them has been extremely positive. They are very knowledgeable and they're very, very thorough and they know the market very well. I have a great experience. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm talking to you here in Hawaii where I'm spending, throughout the calendar year, a number of months here enjoying the Hawaii paradise. So without further ado, I'm going to have Doug and Jan Weber to pick up the rest of the presentation, and I'll chip in throughout the presentation as well. So say hello to Doug Weber. Hello, Doug.
Great. Hello, Seewing. Thank you very much for that nice introduction. This is Doug Weber. I'm here with my wife, Jan.
Hi, my name's Jan. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to Hawaii and aloha.
And we're going to be talking to you a little bit about Hawaii today and about the housing market and about the opportunities and also how to get in and not just invest, but learn to enjoy a really wonderful tropical paradise. This is what the island of Oahu looks like. The little blue arrows here are representing areas where a lot of people have been buying and where different types of developers have been building. Over on the right-hand side, you'll notice the area known as Kailua. Uh, when people buy into Hawaii, many will see the investment possibilities, but they're also going to be looking for the lifestyle of each particular area, and each one comes with a different type of a lifestyle. The Kailua area, you'll have a lot of your beach people. You'll have a lot of specialized sports, specialized windsurfing. You can go around the entire island. When you go to the south, down at the bottom where you see Kahala, that's kind of like the Beverly Hills of the island. Oh, there you go. Great. Hey, you got it. That's kind of the Beverly Hills of Hawaii. When you get up to Waikiki, that's one of the major tourist areas on the island. Lots of opportunities always there to actually purchase rentals, purchase buildings, and rent them out. Then you've got further up, you've got the area known as Kaka'ako, which is our newest development here. This is one of the newest ones going up. The Howard Hughes Corporation is going to be building, when they're finished, 22 high-rise condominiums here, mixed use, and they've finished about 3 right now. So they've got a little ways to go. That's a real high-end market there. We're going to be talking about the area over on the western side of the island, where you see Kapolei and Ko'olina and Eba Beach. This whole area here. Let me see if we can. Okay, that's good. All right. I think we'll start with Kapolei. Kapolei has been called the second city of the island. It was 25 years ago they decided that they would begin to build this side of the island up. In the initial stages, of course, everybody looked at it and said, "You're going to build there?" Well, it doesn't look like that now. It's growing leaps and bounds, as will be explained later on, presenting wonderful investment and living opportunities. Eba Beach, which is right to the right of that, was created originally to be affordable housing. It still has many places in Eba Beach where you can find affordable housing, but they've expanded it also. Do you want to get to the next slide?
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. Here we go. Going back into town here, this is the area known as Ala Moana and Kaka'ako. You can see some of the new developments right in front. What's called Waiea and Anaha are 2 of the Howard Hughes projects. They are completed. They are actually fully up. This was taken when they were in the early stages of building. You can see that in front of here is a beautiful white sandy beach, and that is one of the main attractions in Hawaii. You've got your white sandy beaches. This is a very calm beach. Nice for families. You won't get your surf quite in this area, but a little further down. To the left, you'll see the brand new Cavallo Basin Harbor, which will be a fully developed actual a yacht harbor when they are done with all the building here. And here we go. This is looking to the other way toward the western part of the island. You can see Ala Moana Beach Park in front, which will always be a beach park. It's very popular. You can see that the waves here are waves. The water is very gentle, and it always looks that way. It always has that same color to it, which is wonderful.
And some of it, my name's Jan again, and I'm going to chime in once in a while. Some of these buildings are older buildings. Ala Moana is famous for the Ala Moana shopping mall. It's one of the largest outdoor malls in the world. And you've got a mix here of the new developments and some of the older buildings. And prices range in Waikiki and Kaka'ako and Ala Moana. You can buy a condo under $300,000. You can, some of these new developments, the Howard Hughes, the penthouse is going for $36 million. So you've got an incredible range, but you can, it's not, most people have the misconception Hawaii is just a luxury market. There's niches and you can purchase at all, lower ranges and higher ranges. And I wanted to add too, when Doug was going over the map, that we work with a lot of investors, and it's really according to their lifestyle to where they want to invest. A lot of people want to invest because they love the beach and they like windsurfing, so they're going to pick a more beach area. Seewing is going to talk to you a lot about the investment opportunity on the west side of the island. So there's everything. This was a condo that we sold, and this was a view from it in Waikiki, 2 blocks from the beach, close to all the restaurants. And we have a condo right now that we're in escrow, and it's under 300,000. It's a great little investment property. So there's lots of opportunity here in Hawaii. So Doug, you want to talk about, Doug's going to talk to you about the chief economist in Hawaii. He's the guru of real estate, and this is what he says about Hawaii.
Yeah. There are many, many new developments now all over the island. And it's hard. Yeah. They're for basically being built for tourism and for the military. We have a very high military presence here. In fact, they are one of the biggest, if not the biggest contributor to the economy on Oahu. But you won't see them. You won't see them around even visible, sometimes coming into town. But you don't normally. But they are a really large factor in the housing market here. The reason there are low vacancy rates, I'll be coming to that. It's on another slide. But you can buy for cash flow as an investment. You have options here for long-term rentals. You can get three-year leases or shorter. You can get to month-to-month rentals. Once again, these will depend on the complex and the area that you're in, but it's the appreciation that most people look for. The appreciation, as you can see from this chart, this is the 40-year average. If you go back and draw a straight line out from about 1980 to today, the straight line on the top will be for single-family houses. The green line on the bottom will be for condos. You can see that it's steadily gone up, regardless of whether the market has gone up, whether the market has gone down. It has always had that upward motion. Right now, we have been in an upward trend now for the past, I would say, 8 years, roughly six years maybe. We've been going up like this. And that's the way the market works here.
So in Hawaii, that's why people invest a lot on the island. And a lot of local people are investors in Hawaii. We do open house. We have people come to our open house. They live here. They have like 5 different properties because they buy for the appreciation. And Seewing's going to talk to you later about return on investment. But that's the beauty of Hawaii, is the appreciation of the real estate. And Seewing, do you want to talk about how just as same as the prices have gone up and appreciated, along this line, the blue line, or the red line, is the median monthly rent. So as the prices of the homes go up, the prices of the rents go up, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll discuss that in more detail about the rents. So it bodes well for the future, because if the Hawaii real estate is all projected to increase by 5% appreciation, we can pretty much conclude with a reasonable amount of confidence that potentially the annual increases in rent are similar, 5%. So you will have the same, so that's a good sign. So that's what I'm saying. We'll talk more about that.
Okay. And we've already spoken a little bit about the appreciation, and that has consistently appreciated over the past 40 plus years on an average of 5 to 6% per year. And now this is getting into the area of inventory. Right now we are at historic lows for inventory. We are seeing the highest prices, the highest median home prices, the highest prices ever, and one of the lowest inventories. This little graph here shows a slight rise starting a couple of years ago, but the market is very, very competitive right now. This is including even the new projects that are coming online. According to Paul Brubaker, he was the former chief economist, I believe, for the First Hawaiian Bank for about 25 years. And his predictions were always followed very closely and still are. He founded his own company several years ago, TZ Economics, and basically concluded that this island, Oahu, needs about 3,500 new housing units per year just to stay in one place. Typically, the state of Hawaii issues a maximum of about 1,500 permits a year for new housing, which basically, if you do the math, we're going to fall behind 2,000 housing units per year. So Paul Brubaker believes that we're likely about 60,000 units behind where we really should be. So that's one of the reasons why the market's tight. And Seewing, I'm going to let you bring in Albert Einstein here.
All right. Okay, I know most of my investors are from the Bay Area, and you guys, most of you guys are engineers, computer programmers, and you guys like numbers, and that drives your investment. And I totally understand that. So the fact that the Hawaii over the past 40 years have maintained consistent appreciation, even during the downturn, if you recall back in 2007, 2008, 2009, when the real estate market crashed all over the U.S., well, Hawaii real estate has maintained itself. It just went on a slight dip. So that really give us confidence as an investor moving forward to look into Hawaii real estate here in Oahu. So I'm going to discuss the magic of compound interest. As Albert Einstein says, it's the eighth wonder of the world. So 72 divided by the appreciation rate annually equal the number of years for your house to double in value. So therefore, 72 divided by the projected 5% appreciation rate here in Oahu equals 14 years. This means potentially that in 14 years from today, whatever the purchase price of the house right now, it will double in value. For example, if you bought your investment home here in Hawaii for $500,000 at 5% annual appreciation projection, your house will double in value in 14 years, right? 72 divided by 5 is equal 14. So in 14 years, your $500,000 home that you bought today will be worth up to $1 million. So therefore, you have a profit of $500,000 in 14 years. How about the apples? In our case, since we're in Hawaii, how about the pineapples? Okay, just thought I'd throw that in. I know, corny. Yes. All right. Now, some of you been in part of my network member for the past 10 years. We've been doing this in 2004. As you may or may not know, I was an active duty member of the U.S. Army. In fact, I've served 20 years in the U.S. Army, and I retired back in 2002, which is 15 years ago. So if anybody can talk about military, I would consider myself an expert at it. So why the military is such an important significance here in island Oahu, and how it's going to benefit your real estate opportunities? Well, as you can see right here, I'll highlight there are more military people, active duty and retirees like myself here in Hawaii than anywhere else in a country on a per capita basis. But here are some of the major military bases. Here on the northeastern side of Oahu, you have the Kaneohe Bay Marine Corps base, very huge, okay, very large active duty base. Then you have Hickam Air Force Base down here, right next to Honolulu, very huge. Then of course you have, everybody knows about Pearl Harbor, it's right over here. And then there are the Schofield Barracks, U.S. Army Schofield Barracks, home of the 25th Infantry Division. So all this clutter of major military bases, and there are a lot of smaller military bases that I'm not even going to have time to talk about, all over the island, all over, Triple Army Medical Center. Then you have a Wheeler Army base right next to Schofield. They have a lot of small military units all over Oahu, have a very specialized mission that they have. I'm not going to get into that. The bottom line is, in terms of the rental market, it'll bode you well. But I will talk about the rental market in the following slide. I'm going to segue to Doug. Doug will talk about over here first.
Yeah. Well, the vacancy rates for 2017, according to the HUD's projections in the rental market, on Oahu is about 5%. The growth in the rental household since 2010 has outpaced the construction of rental units. And if you live here and you have seen all the construction, you're saying, really? But it has. We need more housing than they've really got. And the state recognizes this. And that is the opportunity that is here today for some of these new developments to actually be able to get in on them. Because the Hawaii economy continues to perform well. We get visitors not just from the mainland, who are a lot, we get visitors internationally from Canada, from Japan, from Australia. They're projecting that by the end of this year is going to see the highest amount of Chinese come in, about 185,000. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the development that's going on this side of the island also.
Okay, back to me. Thank you, Doug. All right, let's talk about the rental market. As you know, this is a main driver for investors to make decisions on. So you know what's so funny? Before I moved into the island to buy my vacation home last year, I mean, I have no clue what's going on. I mean, some of you who live in California, I'm sure, who are listening to this webinar, you probably been to Hawaii on a vacation, like on an annual basis, whatever, whether here in Oahu or Maui, whatever, some of the islands. But had I not lived in Oahu for the past year, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know those opportunities for investors. Now I know because I lived it. I felt it. I researched it. I'm here 6 months out of the year at least. So the bottom line is, this is mind-boggling what I found out, and I'm so excited to present this webinar to you guys. So the rental market is just amazing here. So we have one of the lowest vacancy rates currently and historically. Why? Because many of the renters that if you were to buy investment property here in Oahu, many of them are active duty military tenants, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and even Coast Guard. All right. So why are military tenants are so beneficial? Well, I'll tell you more about it throughout this slide and the next slide. Oahu always have a shortage of rentals. With respect to the military active duty people, on-base housing. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, I forgot to mention one very important detail. When I was in active duty in the Army years and years ago, my job, my occupation as a soldier, I was a finance specialist. What that means is when a soldier and their family when they arrive at our current duty station, I process their pay, I process their travel pay, their military pay, and I find a way for them to get off post housing, and I'll calculate the housing allowance for them to live off post. So if anybody who has a unique perspective and knowledge to talk about the rental market, I do, right? It's just such a coincidence. But just more to it than this, all right? So there's a tremendous amount of military renters out here. So your question is, the perception is, active duty soldiers, military members, they don't get paid that much, right? Then how are they able to pay our rents on our homes? Okay, because Oahu is a high cost area, military folks, they will provide a higher housing allowance than usual, right? We'll talk more about that in the next slide. For example, if you on a home for $400,000 and $500,000, the typical monthly rent you should be able to obtain is around $2,000 to $2,300 for you to have a break even or a slight cash flow at 25 to 30% down payment. Now, on a higher end home, which we'll talk about later on this presentation, on a $500,000 property to $650,000, the projected rent for you to achieve breaking even cash flow is around, at 25 to 30% down payment, is around $2,800 to $3,200 gross monthly rent. So therefore, an officer, a lieutenant, a young lieutenant for with 2 years of service, or a captain who been in a service for like 6 to 10 years, a major who been in service like 10 to 14 years, or a lieutenant colonel who been in a military service active duty for 15 to 20 years. They're giving housing allowance to rent some of these high price homes. Further, these housing allowances are tax free to the service member. All the while, their base pay is not affected whatsoever. So, who are the best renters? Members of the military. Once again, they are called GIs. You know what that means? Government issue. This means they belong to the military 24/7, 365. If they default on their rent, which is highly unlikely, or trash your house, which is also highly unlikely, they have to answer to their immediate commander. Worst case scenario, if they do those kind of things, they may be subject to the dreaded four-letter word, UCMJ. This means Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? So their career could be in jeopardy if they mess up. So therefore, you have the reassurance that once a military active duty member rent your house, you're going to be very, very comfortable that it's going to be a good renter. Also, most married military service members, they have a typically like a 3 year tour, or even more sometimes if they are able to be lucky enough to extend beyond 3 years. So this means that you may have a good tenant for at least 3 years at a time. I don't know about single soldiers, but their tour duty is probably 2 years. So there's no such thing as a strong or weak rental season here in Oahu. Military members they change duty stations all the time, even during the holidays. As I recall, when I was in active duty, I believe I was transferred I left Europe. I was stationed in Germany. Then I went over to U.S. Army Fort Campbell, Kentucky. They moved me during December, during the holiday season. But that's when you are given an order to change the duty station, you have to follow orders. All right. So therefore, it's a good sign, right? Throughout the whole year. Now, some of you are wondering why the military people are able to pay your high rent on your property here in Oahu. If you look at this 2017 military housing allowance, okay, I don't want to give you. Here it is. So here are the ranks. E1 means enlisted people. E1, they're all same. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. The enlisted ranks from E1 to E9, right? And the officer rank is from O1 to O7 or above, which is, So enlisted like private who are married have their dependents along with them. E1 to E3 or privates. Private, they only just barely enter the service, first year in service. By coming to live in Oahu, they are giving a $2,466 of a monthly housing allowance to pay your rent. If they are single, they're giving extra allowance for almost $2,000. So if you buy a investment home for like 400 to 430,000, if a private will rent your house, this monthly rent can pretty much offset your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and property management fee. Okay. Furthermore, a sergeant E5, E6 is a staff sergeant, E7 is a sergeant first class. These individuals in enlisted ranks, they've been in Army or Air Force for that matter, like 3 to 10 years, 3 to 15 years, and they are giving higher housing allowance based on the years of service in the rank, right? See, 2,600, 2,900. This monthly rent allowance, you should be able to buy a $550 to $600,000 house with 20% down payment, and this housing allowance which should be able to offset your mortgages, right? Now, for example, if you can buy a $650 to $700,000 house, and you need to have a rent for 3,500. Well, let's hope you can rent to a officer. Okay, a, a first lieutenant that been in a service for a mere 2 or 3 years, they're given a $3,000 monthly allowance. If you rent it to a major 04 or a lieutenant colonel 05, or in the case of a Navy individual, 04 is a lieutenant commander, 05 is a commander, they have a housing allowance 36 to 3,800. That should more than offset your home costing $700,000. All right, you will break even, maybe a slight negative cash flow. That's it. Isn't that cool? See? All right, I'll rest my case. All right, Doug, pick it up.
Thank you, Seewing. What you're looking at right here is one of the big changes that has happened on this island in the last few years. The approval and the start of the construction from the western part of the island, where we are now, all the way into Honolulu, into town. This is the new Hawaii Area Rapid Transit, or HART, the new metro for Hawaii. And this is going to connect all the communities from west to east. So you can see right now that you can see that all of the housing communities right now that must funnel their way up Fort Weaver Road or the Farrington Highway or the H1 are going to be able to take the rail now and save on their driving commute time considerably. They're going to finish up to about Pearl Harbor, or Pearl City is kind of like the first stage at the top there, stage number 7. That should be done by 2020. All the way down to 21, which will lead us into Ala Moana Shopping Center and basically the gateway to Waikiki, will be done by 2025. It's an ongoing project, but this is going to be a huge game changer on the island. So we're all very excited about it. This is a new development that just went in the other year over in Kailua. This is the beach area. This is as high as buildings are allowed to be built in Kailua. They want to preserve the beach town effect, the lifestyle of being able to walk on the sandy beach, swim, kayak, windsurf. Very, very popular activities in this very, very popular beach area. There are still some homes here, still some units in this building available. One of our folks went out there just the other day, just taking a look at some of the price. What was the price that day? How much was that?
For a 1-bedroom, it's in the 500 range. For 2-bedroom, you can get set in the 700 range, right, if it's smaller, and a larger 2-bedroom is in the 800 range. Right. So they're still open for investors.
Yeah. Castle and Cook is another big developer on the island. They're one of the projects that they're working on right now is the Pu'uwai project. They've broken ground on that, and they're going to start that development going right now. They're also a very exciting project in the middle of the island. We're not going to get too much into the Mililani area. It's right in the center, right near Schofield Barracks. It's called Koa Ridge, and everybody's been excited about this one. These are homes up in that particular area. These are new homes also by Gentry Homes in the Ewa Beach area. You've got the new Sea Bridge, Coral Ridge, and Cypress Point. And they are open to investors after 1 year. This is kind of to work with some of the housing shortage on the island. The states decided we will do certain things to help new investors get in. But if there are parts of the project that have not sold in different phases, after 30 days, investors are permitted to actually enter into the market and buy properties. And that's what we watch for. We watch for to see when our investors can actually get in, what's the earliest. Because there's always going to be several that are not purchased, regardless of what the market looks like or regardless of what happens. So there's always some that open up. This is the new area here. This is the development right now here. This is Kapolei. And it's just grown leaps and bounds. You can see Costco, Home Depot, Target. I mean, all sorts of places. Everybody that you can possibly think of is out here.
I want to make a quick comment by the way. This is the city. Kapolei is a second city. It's a new city. Everything's new. I bought my vacation condo here. So if you look at this map, is amazing, right? The community, the master plan development that I'm living here in Kapolei is within walking distance to like Costco, like half a mile away, and to Safeway, 1 mile away, to the mall 1 mile away, and to Home Depot and Walmart. Everything's within walking distance, and yet you live in a great. I live in a great community where it's like a family-oriented community. We'll tell you more about it. So it's an amazing, brand new city, 20 miles west of Honolulu. So we're concentrating on West Oahu, like 15 to 20 miles west of Honolulu. This is the area, and Kapolei is included. Kapolei, Ever Beach, and Waipahu. This tri-city kind of a area is growing by leaps and bounds, and is a best kept secret, particularly for those people from the mainland. You may not know what's going on. You may not know what's going on with the growth in West Oahu. I know, and that's why I am presenting this to my investors. Most of you are in the San Jose area, so you guys are lucky to have me physically live here to know what's going on. Had I not lived here for the past year and part of the year, you will not get this presentation. Okay, so consider yourself lucky to have an opportunity to pull the trigger in this great up and coming Oahu real estate market. I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's very good. It's really very, very good. Here's an aerial shot of Kapolei. The brown area that you see in the middle has already been earmarked already. These are already areas that have been marked for development. They're just waiting to other homes to sell, and they're gradually introducing them into the community. They'll have different names. They'll have different styles. There's even new ones opening up now that will even have their own gardens, their own places where they will be able to grow their own vegetables on the perimeter of the property. It's really amazing. Yeah. Right now, Kapolei homeowners are about 68% owner occupied, 20% U.S. mainland owners, and about 1% foreign owners. This is going to be changing coming pretty soon right now, particularly the area under foreign owners, which we're coming into. This is the main pool for one of the communities. Actually, this is the community that you're in, Seewing. This is the main hub, the main kind of center, where it has a swimming pool and a rec center and just a kind of a gathering place. And right now, what is available for purchase in this area is in the Pohakala at Mahana development. This is the last phase, and they're available from about 500,000 up, and they are available to investors now. This is the little explanation about the property. This is where they are right now. This is the last build out. There's about 25% left. This Ho'opili is going to be building out for the next next 15 years. They're going to be building out different sections of what they're calling Ho'opili. And this particular area within that Ho'opili is called Haloa.
It's in Eva.
It's in Eva. Right, but the Ho'opili is going to be quite a large area. There it is. They're going to be building 11,750 homes over 25 plus years. And you can see from here, Kapolei is right in the middle. You got there's Ho'opili right up there. Honolulu is to the east. And to the west, you have Kapolei West and Ko'olina. Here is the Ho'opili, the master plan community developed by D.R. Horton. And that is, as we said, it's going to have about 11,750 homes, 3 million feet of commercial space, 5 schools, 159 acres of commercial farms, and 2 of the transit stations for the rail system will originate from here. And you can see right now how they're going to be developing that. This is looking to the west. You can see right in the foreground here where they're going to be building in Haloa, which is right there. Right now, this is Ho'opili under construction. The different sections are going to be like this for a while, and they're just incredibly building out here. This is a good example of how this particular developer, D.R. Horton, does their site maps, and they're very, very clear, and you can see that they're very defined. They're single-family homes, and these particular ones will be available to investors after 1 year. This is the Aloha. This is the right. These are Eva Beach townhomes, a little bit different. They're also going to be available to investors after 1 year. Here is looking towards one of the developments in Eva Beach. Eva is about 70% built out. This is more of a high-end area. Prices range from $700,000 to $1 million, but there's still about 15 years left to build in Eva, mostly high-end homes. Here is a color map of the long-range master plan. You can see on the right-hand side that's being built up now. And you can look and you can see that there's quite a bit of room to grow. And as we move to the west, well, this is prices in Kapolei.
Sorry, we can go back.
Go back one. There we go. There we go. You can see these are right. Right now we're going to go into Kapolei.
Okay.
So just move it one more forward.
Oh, you want to go forward?
Go forward, yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Right. These are the median home prices in just different developments that were started several years ago, some as much as 15 years ago. You've got Kapolei Knolls, 738, 500. You've got different price ranges involved in here. And this will show you, did you want to talk about this? Okay. Basically, what this is showing is Kapolei home prices with a 5-year percent gain. This is recorded. This is what's happened in 5. This is the gain over the past 5 years. Different areas: the Knolls 29.3, Maulani 21.2, Aloha 22.5, and so on. But so Kapolei in general was 25.8%, and the island of Oahu was 26%. So it's pretty consistent here. This will show you the dates that these communities were started and the number of homes that were built and the kind of square footage that we're talking about here, from the square foot of the home to the square foot of the lot. So Manava, here we are. Yes. Yeah. Do you want to talk?
Yeah, I can talk about this. So this is a master plan development, which is called Mahana. By the way, okay, I'm still not used to these Hawaiian names. They're very confusing, right? I mean, there's so much like, Kala this, Kala that, but it just driving me up the wall. Okay, and I'm trying to get used to this.
It's all vowels.
Yeah, these kind of words are so hard to memorize, but it is what it is. You have to deal with it. So this is a master plan development back in Kapolei, which is called Mahana. Master plan subdivision, and I'm going to break down to various investment opportunity for my investors. And this is sort of I call it the first tier investment product. Okay, so around 400 to 440,000 approximately. They are like these are condo townhouses. They are like one unit is at the bottom, another unit at the top. Right, they are not the same, completely different unit. Like a square box, but the inside looks really good. You can't tell from the outside, but beautiful landscape, beautiful subdivision, whatever. But they are like 2-bedroom, 2-bath, around 828 square foot and higher. So this is, like I said, cookie cutter first tier investment product. They rent for like 22 to 2,300. So you put 25% down payment, you should have a break even cash flow. All right. So very, very desirable. It's a beautiful subdivision. And of course, a few blocks away, also in Manhattan, master plan development in Kapolei, this is what I call a second tier investment product, 500 to 600,000. It rents for $2,500 to $2,800. And they are like 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo townhomes. They are anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 square foot. Very, very nice floor plan. Very beautiful, as I said. And then up the street, Eva Beach is, up the road in Kapolei Expressway from Kapolei. From Kapolei going east, like 5 miles to the east. Of course, you have the Eva Beach and the landscaping, the entire city of Eva Beach Most of those homes, townhomes, were built in 1991 or newer. So it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Landscaping, everything is very, very clean throughout the entire Ever Beach, similar to Kapolei, right? It's very similar. And so this subdivision is Palm Villa. These are, like I said, back to the what I call it the first tier product, around 290K, 300, maybe even 310,000 right now. They typically like 2 bedroom, 1 bath, are like 710 square foot. So cookie cutter, 25% down, you should break even. Again, very, very nice neighborhood. So if you're limited in your down payment, if you can only afford this first tier product, then this could be the product for you. All right. So now I want to talk about something very, very important. I know a lot of you are number crunchers. It's all about your returns, right? Rate of return, return on investment, cap rates, whatever, which is something I teach a lot. And that's how we as investors make those critical decisions whether to buy or not. So with that said, listen very closely because this is very, very critical in your decision-making process as you do your research and due diligence the way we have. On this typical 295K, let's say 300K home, 25% down payment. Here in Hawaii, as we projected here at 5% appreciation, which is to me is very conservatively. Vacancy rate around 2 or 3%. Property management fee, hopefully 8%. Maintenance fee around 2%. But the key is you put 25% down payment of this purchase price, which is your down payment is 76,000, right? So if you look at the annual projection, the first year projection, at 5% appreciation, your appreciation at the end of the first year is almost 15,000. Then this software also calculates the principal reduction. I don't know how to explain that, but you have a benefit of $3,600 more with the principal reduction based on the loan that you paid down. I guess then a little bit of cash flow on an annual basis, 2,000, as you can see, right? So total gross equity income for the year at the end of the first year is around $20,477. Plus you got some tax savings of the depreciation deductions or the tax benefit that I taught you many times over for my members. So at the end of the 12 months first year projection, based on all these parameters, your total gain of your money is 21,481, right? All you have to do is divide it by your down payment, 76,750. That means your total return at the end of the first year is 28%. Okay? That's what you're looking for. This is a critical number. So 28% return of your investment here in Oahu. I think this is an attractive purchase. Don't you think? All right. So okay, let's proceed. Okay.
Here you're looking at a brand new mall. It's still being built out here. This is the new Kapolei Mall. Everything in this mall is absolutely brand new, and everything is so close by. Actually, in Kapolei, just as Seewing was mentioning, he was mentioning in terms of miles, but it feels particularly closer, especially if you're driving. You can be to most places within 3 to 5 minutes. It's that close. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. The one small detail which I need to add, the cash flow worksheet that I just discussed, and I used the example of a 300,000 and all the numbers I show you. It is similar to higher end purchases. If you purchase a 400 or 500 or $600,000 property here in Oahu, in a similar subdivision in Kapolei, Ever Beach, and Waipahu, because the projected rent increases accordingly, as I already told you about the military housing allowance. So the returns are the same. What I'm trying to say is the return is approximately 25% on an annual basis, whether you buy a 300K home or 400K, 500K, 600K, even $700,000. Because as you saw, I've done the crunching of the numbers. All right, you have to trust me on it. But trust but verify. All right. So the higher end home you're gonna purchase, based on the worksheet that I created for you, you get a higher rent. So at the end of the day, the numerical return are similar whether you buy a 300K home or a 700K home, a $700,000 home. Does that make sense? right? It's all about your personal preference. It's all about how much down payment you have. If you have enough down payment to buy $700,000 home, knowing that the monthly rent could be like 3,800, hey, the number works, right? So it's all about your own unique personal financial situation to pick which property you want to buy. All right. So
Yeah. We've already talked a little bit about the new rail being built, the Heart. This is a shot of, we're coming up on the Kroc Center on the right. You can see the roof, I think, of the main building there. But this is, the rail is proceeding. Like I said, they're going to finish this first phase by 2020. Here is a second tier product in Ewa Beach. Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, back up.
Back up one.
There we go.
no, right.
There we go. Yeah, this is a really great area to find some very good bargains in that are wonderful to rent out. I just was like, did I mention the part about trying to find that rental for that friend? Yeah. Well, this is a very popular rental area, very competitive to get rentals as well as to buy in here. If the house is in good condition and whatever, you're going to have some competition down here. So it pays to watch what's going on here and be able to move quickly. We'll talk more about that later. This is just a very typical road for this type of area in Kapolei. You can see everything is absolutely brand new here, which is really wonderful. Everybody loves it. This was the Walt Disney Aulani Resort, which was built in Kapolei. It's an extremely popular place. We get a lot of people coming from all over the world to Hawaii, and they'll stay here in this Ko'olina area. We now have a new person who's going to be entering the market here. This is the aerial view of the Aulani area. If you'll see right next to Disney, there's a brown patch of earth. That one, plus two other parcels, were just purchased by China Oceanwide Holdings for $580 million. That's a little bit of money here. And they are planning some really incredible things out here. In that Ko'olina Resort, you've already got your Four Seasons out there, also with Disney, with the Aulani, and you're also going to have a project coming from Dubai called the Atlantis, and it's already been planned. They're already getting ready to break ground this year on it. It's going to be an incredible luxury hotel out here. It's going to change this part of the island and this part of Oahu as a luxury destination. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
China, I'll talk a little bit more about this investor. So as Doug was saying, he's invested so far $580 million. And the China Oceanwide, they bought the Kapolei West area, which for 103 million, 514 acres of undeveloped land for residential development. So there's a big plan there. It's already been approved. It was approved in 2008. It's going to have 2,500 homes, a golf course, an elementary school, and a transit hub. Then he bought 280 of this oceanfront, beachfront that Doug was talking about next to the Disney Resort, which is going to be Atlantis. There's an Atlantis in the Bahamas, in Dubai. It's incredible luxury. And he bought that area for $200 million. And then there's going to be up to 2 more luxury hotels and a luxury condo are envisioned there. And then a full build out, Ko'olina is expected to exceed $15 billion with a yearly generator of $1.4 billion a year to Hawaii. All the projects together will have created more than 3,500 construction jobs and 400 permanent jobs.
14,000.
14,000, excuse me.
And it's important to keep in mind here that when you're looking at the development here, when you're looking at this development, they're going to be building in this area here. They've purchased this area so that they have access to the dock area here. But your area here will remain the same. This beautiful area and going up the coast will remain the same. The ocean view will not change, and it is wonderful, spectacular sunsets, some of the most spectacular sunsets you will see. And these lagoons are very charming. They're wonderful to be in. So they got some really incredible plans for this place. Here's another shot of the island.
We just put in another map so you can, it's a little more detailed of the different areas. And if some of you have been here, you'll recognize famous places. The mountainous area is in the middle. Sorry, that's my fault. I'm mixing the slide, pushing the button here. The middle area with the golden color, that's more your mountain areas. So it's just amazing the amount of development that's happening here. So Seewing's going to talk a little bit.
All right, we're moving toward the end, and thank you so much for most of you are still are alert and still focused on our presentation. I really appreciate it. I know we're coming toward the end of the 1 hour. I know we have so much to cover, right? There's so much content, and I hope we're providing you with so much value that you'll enjoy this webinar and beyond. So we only got a few more minutes left. Again, thank you for your participation. So, over the years, as I work with you guys, and, we have enter and exit a number of real estate markets throughout the U.S., in so many areas like Florida, Texas, Arizona, Las Vegas, South Carolina. And I put you guys through so many areas. And, and we went through a lot of real estate cycles, right, in the mainland U.S., right? And for the past 10, 15 years. So, and I really appreciate you guys are still hanging in there. Some of your purchases in other markets are, may not have panned out, at least no short term, but you guys, it's all about hang in there and commit to your long-term goals and survive and hang in there throughout the different real estate cycles. But having said that, and of course, I talk to you guys so often. I meet with you, consult with you, mentor you, and what have you. And I know what you guys are thinking, right? I mean, as a real estate investor, you have to analyze the risk and of doing real estate and the reward and the benefits, right? So having said that, and the reason why I'm extremely excited about Hawaii real estate as we presented for you today, this evening, let me go through the areas of concern and how buying investment property here in the West Oahu area in particular is such a unique, which is and I'm going to go through it right now, right? So here are our usual concerns, which we're going to minimize for you. Of course, nobody have a crystal ball, right? I mean, we don't. Myself and Doug and Jan, we can only project based on what has transpired in Hawaii real estate for the past 40 years. But we feel the trend is going to bode well for investors who want to pull the trigger here, and the risk is very low. So one of the risks that investor may have was the risk of their homes losing value, right? And again, back in 2007, 2008, some people's homes have lost value, and we get that. So those kind of experience could have a dramatic effect on somebody's thinking, their psychology. But here in Hawaii, right, we have not really have done anything. For the past 40 years, we indicated the homes have continued to increase in value. So the risk of your home's losing value in Hawaii projecting to the future are pretty slim, right, based on past history. And the second concern would be the risk of excessive maintenance and cost of repair. Well, as you know, a lot of things that we're promoting on today's presentation, there are newer homes, right, pre-construction, and even the resales that we have available are built, recently in Ever Beach. They started building in 1991. Those homes that still look nice. A lot of the resales that you can purchase through the help of Doug and Jan, they're built within past 5 to 10 years, right? So when you buy newer construction, the risk of maintenance and cost of repair is, although they do happen, but they're very, very minimal. So that you should have a comfort level around that. And the third risk is the risk of prolonged vacancies, right? Clearly, not only the vacancy rate is 5% in the past here in Oahu real estate, but since you heard my great presentation on the military renters, right? The risk of vacancies is slim, very, very slim, right? Because there's the rental market is very strong. There are people need to rent. There's not enough places to rent, and there are so many military people that gets transferred here to our islands on a, on a, on a consistent basis. So the vacancies rate going forward will be very, very, very low, and risk of bad tenants trashing their homes, right? I heard that before, right? Not, it ain't not gonna happen. I told you, military tenants makes the best renter. They cannot afford to trash your homes, otherwise their military career will be in jeopardy. They don't want to risk that. So you can have a very, very good tenant for a long time to come. And finally, the risk of your home dilute and not appreciating value, not likely the demands of homes far exceeds supply in Oahu real estate, right? The island of Oahu is only so big, right? And half of the island is not buildable. Is mountains, and the other one third part of the island belong to the military, and they do their training. They do they have all their facilities there. So and of course, and everybody over the world want to come over to vacation here in Hawaii, and so therefore, it's a paradise. So therefore, you see the value, the demand is greater than supply. So therefore, the housing will continue to appreciate. So I have pretty much addressed all those concerns, and this is a good sign, right? Okay, so take it away.
Okay, so preparing for success. This is again the market snapshot. So low inventory for selling homes, for homes being available, low inventory for rents. So it's a pretty competitive market, and our job, Doug and I, will help you if you ever decide you're interested. Please contact Seewing if you want more information on what we talked about. Pre-approval, of course, you all know that's and proof of cash funds. That's always when you're going out there in a competitive market, you want to have all that in place. So Seewing recommends.
Right. Yeah. As you know, some of you have worked with Richard. He has done a lot of our loans for our investment network, and particularly in Florida and Texas. And very important, if you are serious and committed to do something here in the island, just contact Richard and get your pre-approval loan letter, right? And get your ducks in order, and then you contact after that you contact Doug and Jan, and they will consult with you over the phone or by video technology, whatever.
Right. We're the largest independent real estate company in the island, and we have a very exclusive website that even real estate agents, you're going to see the same thing that we see as realtors. And we have a wonderful thing called Neighborhood Expert. You can learn about all the different communities and investment opportunity, further information. So feel free to contact Seewing or myself. This is our information. And we really, really are excited that you came today.
Right. Yeah, we are. So anything, Jan, Doug, you want to recap anything?
Or I'd like to know if anybody has any questions.
Well, we may not have time. I don't know.
Okay. Well, to recap, the beauty of investing in Hawaii is the appreciation and the cash flow and being in a wonderful place that's got so much potential for renting out, for investment, for cash flow, for eventual retirement.
Yeah.
You can't ask for more than this. We have a 99-year-old client, and he moved here recently. He invested in the Ilokai, and he said he looks out on his ocean view every morning. He goes, "It doesn't get better than this."
That's true. Yeah. He's actually 101 now, but
he was 99 when we met him.
And he's always looking for new experiences. It's quite amazing to see. But anyway, for all of our investors who have bought from us, they always tell us the same story. They're excited about having the home. The home is not just an investment. They've actually bought it. Many of them have said, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And when I come back in 10 or 12 years, I'm going to retire here. So many of them have that plan. They have decided that they're going to buy a place, get the appreciation, not necessarily to sell at the end. They're thinking more retire, rent out, and have the home when they retire, when they're finished with their work, wherever they are. And that's the plan for many of them right now, is they're making steady rentals and they're going to be retiring. And about, what, 12, 15 years, a lot of them, yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. Like I say, if you have any questions, you can.
Oh, I see a question there.
Yeah, oh, here we go.
There's a question for rentals.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about property manager. We got a few more minutes. There's a question out there.
Yes,
Doug and Jan?
we will provide property management. We're in the process of trying to get people that we know tons of them, but you can negotiate how much you're going to pay.
Right.
Normally here in Hawaii, it's 8 to 10%. So we can send you a list of property managers who are extremely hands-on and they're very responsible people that you would be very happy with.
Yeah, that's great. So again, as we conclude this webinar, and we have a lot of people to register, a lot of attendees. One of my most attended webinar, and for a very good reason. Why? I mean, they make us very happy. That shows us that you guys are motivated. You understand the value of investing in this paradise island. And so let me see. Yeah, we gonna record. We already recorded this webinar, so we're gonna have a webinar replay out there for anybody that did not attend. Or so I'll send it out to the database in the next few days. But meanwhile, again, if you're interested, then you know where to contact Doug and John Weber. The information is on the screen. So on the webinar, so contact them. Get your pre-approval first by Richard, hopefully, and then they will help you when they consult with you over the phone, or when you come out to the island, meet with them on a one-on-one basis. Doug and Jan, they are very relationship based. They provide outstanding service. They return your phone calls very quickly. They're very proactive. They will try to understand your real estate goals and objectives, and then they will work within what you want to accomplish, and they will do their job. And I had a very great experience with them. So on a personal basis, again, I am living the life of my dreams, and my wife and I are enjoying the island quite a bit. Yeah, we're very happy to present this to you, and look forward to hearing from you guys. You can contact myself or Doug and Jan, and thank you for attending. Good luck and
aloha.
Aloha.
aloha. Aloha.
Yeah, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye bye.